Owusu Ansah. Sorry for keeping you waiting. I mean, we're having a bit of technical challenges. Um, but I think in order not to waste my time, we can just get it started. Um, so we are happy to have with us Mr. Owusu Ansah, who is the principal meteorologist and then also the head of the Hydrometeorological Unit for GMet. And then, in fact, when he comes, he will do all the introduction and then also do all the other um, knowledge sharing that he would have to do. So without much ado, would like to invite him. So Mr. Uzwansa, over to you. And sure, thank you for your patience.
All right, thank you, Dr. Jeffrey I. It's a privilege to meet all of you, to also express my experience and then share with you the knowledge which I think you could use in your research in the future. Hope you can hear me. Everybody can hear me. Sorry, I have a little cold. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so a little correction. My name is not hyphenated. So, Dr. Jeffrey, next time you change you just remove the hyphen. All right, thank you. Okay. I hope everybody has access to the ArcGIS software now. I believe, and I know the installation has been successful now. If you have challenges, I believe Dr. Aye could also support you to rectify this. Okay, so without much ado, let me also start sharing my screen. I hope everybody can see my screen. Okay. Um, Thank you so much, everybody, once again. ArcGIS is really a very important tool which is used for this geographical information all over the world. We need ArcGIS for analysis because every project that anyone partakes is over the earth, and we need to locate where it is. Most of the time, when people are writing their researches, all they need to know to show is their study area, and there's one key thing which every researcher needs to come up with a study area. We can use ArcGIS for this. I know we can also use other softwares like the QGIS, which is also free. ArcGIS is licensed. However, we managed to get a cracked version for you, so we just have to manage with this. My main objective for this our discussion, and then this is more of a practical section of this particular tutorial. I am aiming in generating study area map and then also extracting the study area map from a larger map. And then I also would want to use some station data using the IDW, that is the inverse distance weighted method for interpolation. And then finally, generating the CDF files from the interpolated data, which is the station data. I hope it's clear. So we are going to go step by step. Unfortunately, I didn't put any practical guide to for everyone to just go step by step. But so far as we are doing it together, I'm expecting you to jot some few points down, and then now you just do it. At the end of the day, we are going to divide ourselves into. I think we have about how many groups, Prof. Dr. Jeffrey? How many groups do we have? Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do is after we are done with this session, every group is going to have a particular section of the country which you are really going to use as your focal point. I mean, sorry, your study area. Okay, so you are going to develop according to the way I want us to do it. So maybe group one would take, maybe, for example, like the Brong-Ahafo region. Maybe group two would take the OT region. Group three, maybe Eastern region, or then the group four would take maybe around the coast, the northwest, sorry, the western, and then the coastal part of the country. This is just an example. I will tell you the exact thing that you're supposed to do when the time is up. All right, so without much ado, when you open ArcGIS for the first time, and I presume a number of you, this is the first time you are seeing ArcGIS. ArcGIS is really, really a very important tool. And you know, the background of ArcGIS is Python. And you guys are privileged to have a professor who is very good in Python, you know, also teaching you Python. So obviously you really enjoy this particular section. And then if any question, if you have any challenges, you know, he's good to also help you too. Okay, so when you open the ArcGIS for the first time, this is what you see. You would see an arc map getting started. All right, you see this one, you just need to just close it. All right, either you press here or you just say cancel, and then it just open this interface for you. Okay, let me introduce you to the various panels of ArcGIS. All right, this is more of like a normal Microsoft Word. All right, we see the file, edit, view, bookmark, insert, selection, geo-processing, customize, Windows, help. All these things are very, very important tools for it. And you could see that we have some tabs. All right. This is the left panel is the table of content. All right. When you click on the top and then you push it up, you can see that there are some demarcations on it which helps you to navigate it to everywhere you want. I can decide to put it on top of this one and then I'll leave it this way. All right, but that's not what I want. I can decide to put it back again and then just it will stick to this. This is my main body, my area where I'm going to find my displays being done. And then to my right, I have the actual box, right, which contains most of the tools that I'm going to use for this tutorial. So we'll come back to it. You can decide to collapse it depending on what you want. If I come over here and I click on this one, it will just collapse it. If I take it back again and I say catalog and I click on this one, you see it comes back. So when I want to pin it onto it, I can just do this and I leave it that way. So you see, but when I remove this pin, you know, it just collapses. The same thing applies to the remaining. All right. And over here to the same thing, when I do this, you see it just collapses. All right. But let's just leave it. I don't want to worry myself plenty. It depends on your choice. Okay. So now let's get straight away into how to import data into your ArcGIS. Please, if you have any questions, you can prompt me, or else I'll just be flowing, and I'll be thinking you are okay. So if you're okay, just alert me. If you're not okay, just alert me so that I'll just pause. All right. I hope it's clear. Okay. All right. So now let's move straight away. You see, when you move over here, where my pointer is, it just helps me to navigate my folder which I want to work in. Okay, so when you say add, when I click on add, it opens a pop-up menu for me to be able to now create a link to any folder I really want to work in. All right, so now when this pop-up menu comes, the first thing you are supposed to do is to go over here, all right, to connect to a folder. Now, when I click on connect to a folder, it now tries to create a certain link for me to easily navigate into a folder which I want to really start with. So I want to put my whole thing on desktop. So I'll click desktop and I'll say, okay. So on the desktop, when I click over here, you see I have desktop connected here. All right. And I've created a certain folder called KNUST Internship Training. You can decide to create your own thing. For example, when I come over here, I click new folder and I say, okay, training. I'm just giving you an example, right? So training. So now when I click into this one, this is my connection. All right. So now let me go back again. I go to desktop. All right. And on desktop, I click OK. And then now I go to I go over to my desktop again, all right, and I click on training, okay, and I add. Sorry, let me go back again. So I click on this one and I add. So you see, now it's helping me, it's telling me it has gone to this particular section. Yeah, but you see, I don't have anything into it in it. So let me go back again and then connect to that earlier folder that I created. So I say okay, and then I go over to KNST tutorial over here, and then now let me open to okay, this one. All right. So over here, you see this is the folder which I created earlier on. So I said KNUST internship training. So on your desktop, you can also create the same thing. And then now I click on this one and I say add. Okay, now when I click on this one, in Ghana, we have something we call the shape file of Ghana. We have different boundary layers for Ghana. We have an outer one, which is an administration 0. That's the outline of Ghana. And then we also have the regions. Regions is administration 1. And then the district is administration 2. I have provided this shape files in your Google Doc so you can access it to make if maybe you want to also go and explore yourself. Let me show you a link where you can easily get these files very easily. Let me open to my web. Okay, so I can let me create. I just want to connect to a full a website where we normally have these shape files easily downloaded. It is called Diva ArcGIS. Diva GIS download. Oh, this youth, they want to really the mountains. These people, they're just disturbing us. Okay, let's verify it and see. Okay, so when you open to this one, you could see we have this site where we are going to connect to any country in the world. All right, so I come over here and I say Ghana. I type in Ghana. All right, and you see Ghana, we have administrative areas. We can also have elevation, road, low, what's the name? What inland water administrative areas, a whole lot, right? But what we are interested in right now is just the administrative area. And you say, okay, when you click okay, it will now link you up to where you're supposed to download it. And then you download and then you start using it. I hope it's clear. Okay. One thing about ArcGIS is this. Whenever you import data on Druid, it's like a card, a deck of cards. You can put one on top I can just go back here, table of content here, and it comes back. Okay. And then we also have by selection, but we are interested in the this particular first step. All right, so be very mindful of this one, because there are certain things that there are some flexibilities over here which you will not find in the others. Okay, so over here you can untick, and then you can untick. Okay, now let's start with this one. You see, this one is the districts of Ghana. So over here, I can decide to do a number of tweaks here. So I click on this box. Okay, you see the whole thing is shaded. When you click on that one, you see it opens to this particular pop-up menu, whereby you need to, if you want to change the color, fine. If you want to make it very hollow, fine. And then you want to maybe increase the thickness, or you change the color. Maybe I would want to change this color to yellow. Okay, no, yellow is not my best color. You know, I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'll just take it to blue. So this is blue. Now, if I activate this one to cover it, you see, it covers it. But I want to make it transparent. So I say hollow. And this time I want to make the thickness of the line. All right, I want to increase it a little bit. Let's take it to gray. And then let's change the color to maybe brown. Brown. Okay, an example. I just want you to see what is happening. So, like I was saying, you can move this one down here, push it down. You drag, you hold, and then put it down under it. You can decide to push this one to also down under it. All right. So you see what is happening when you do that. Okay, very simple. So now, after I have gotten this, the layers. Okay, you see, these layers, like I told you, it is more of like a deck, a card deck. So when you activate each particular layer, it gives you what is the content of that particular layer. So, you know, immediately I just untick this one, nothing displays because nothing is activated. But when I go to activate this particular admin 0, you see the whole outline of Ghana displays. Okay, so the layers, you can decide to push it up and down depending on what you want, but it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is you know that there is that kind of flexibility of, you know, pushing each of these layers. Okay, so if I'm moving so fast, you have to tell me. Oh. Okay, so like I was saying earlier on, to activate each of them, you can just click and then it will come, click and it will also come, it will appear. Okay, so in that order, you could see the admin 0 is just the outline of Ghana and it's sitting on top, and then followed by the admin 1, which is the regions, and that one is the next, then followed by the admin 2, which is the district. Nice. Now you can decide to put the names of each of these divisions there. If I pick only admin 1, okay, I can right click on this one. Okay, there's a question here. Let me see whether there's a question. I just saw. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm moving too fast. Okay. Let me slow down a bit. Okay, so let me go back. But I hope you got me when I was trying to import the shape files. Hello. Okay, so up to now, where I just want to get to where you are lost so that I'll be able to recap that section.
Hello. Yeah, kindly, Mr. Someone should kindly start from where he imported the shape file, please.
The shape file. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
thank you.
let me go back. You see, when you come over here, the shape files, I think I put it on a Google Doc, which everybody should have access to it now. Okay, so this is where you go and add your files. So for example, I come over here and I click add file, then it opens into a certain window where you need to now try and then connect. Already, you see, because it understands where I have created my folder and I've put all my shape files. So it understood it and then it's now navigated into that. But assuming you didn't have it at all, then you need to go and then create here. Create it from here, connect to folder. That's the meaning. Okay. So in connecting to the folder, that is where you need to show where your folder has been created. And that will help you to be able to connect to that particular folder. I hope it's clear from here.
Yes, yes, please.
Have the shape files within, and these shape files are the ones with the .shp. Okay, so we have 0, admin 0, admin 1, and admin 2. Is it clear now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Be sincere. If it's not clear, don't tell me it's clear. Then I'll move on, and then you will not grasp anything. Okay. So now over here, we have explained how to activate each of these layers. So this layer 1, this layer 2, and then this layer 3. And all these things have its significance. So let's start with layer 1. When I right click on this one, okay, you see it opens a menu for me. And for the menu, you see we have label features, okay? But I don't want to go and use label feature. I just want to go into the 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 main component of this whole properties. So we are going to go to the property layer. So I'll click on properties, and that is where the engine of the whole layer is, and that is how it describes the entire layer. Okay, you see, for this particular one, we have different tabs. Okay, automatically it takes you to symbology, and that is where by default it's been made to appear whenever you open this place. Okay, so anytime you work over here, wherever you finish, that is where it's going to pop up anytime you revisit it. So now I said I want to display, so I will say I'll go to the labels. So now for this label, all I can see is when I click the label tab, okay, it gives me different fields. All right, these are the fields of the layers that we have displayed here. But let me go back to explain some of the fields for you. Let me cancel this. We'll come back here. Now, when you right click on this one, all right, and you go to open attribute table, the attribute table is more of like a table with different fields. So I'm clicking it and you see what I'm trying to say. So you see, these are the fields, different labels, all right, for this. Now, I'm just Ghana, so we are just seeing only just one or two rows. All right. When we bring in the second layer and then the third layer, you'll be able to see that there's an increase in the rows. So, you know, we have name underscore 0. That is the name of that shape file, and that is Ghana. Okay. Let me close back. When I come over here, this one, and I right click on this and I open to the attribute table, you could see we have different fields. Okay, this and the rows have increased. All right, and then we have name 0, which is what? Name underscore 0, which is Ghana, and we have name underscore 1, which is what? The various regions, the 10 regions. Unfortunately, we don't have the latest new regions available, but we just have to cope with this one for now. So that is it. So if I want to give names to my things, then I need to really know which field name I'm using, right? So now let's go back. Okay, let me go to the admit 2. You see, this one has a whole lot of rows. Okay, and then you see we have different IDs, field names. We have the name 0, then name 1, and then name 2. Okay, so we are just interested in giving the label. So if I want to give the name of this particular field, this layer, I just come over here, and by default, when I go to properties of Ghana admin 0, you could see it's automatically set to name 0. You see, we had different fields. Okay, so name 0 is by default. So if I say OK, or I can just activate this label features in this layer. If I click on this one and I say OK, you see it appears over here. So you see Ghana is labeled now. The same thing applies to this one. When I come over here and I right click on this, you see I deactivated the first one. Okay, when I come over here, properties, it's telling me name 0. If I say name 0, it's going to put Ghana in each of them, but that is not what I want. So look over here. You see, I'm just activating this one, and I'll say, okay, it's put Ghana here because every place is seen because of that particular field name. So I'll just have to go back, properties, and then I'll change that particular field and then put it to name 1, and then I'll say okay. So you see now it gives me the various regions, all right, as distributed. And the same thing applies to, I want to deactivate this one and get back to this one. You see, this one is so many, but it's not so advisable to push everything there. Or you see, some of them will be overlapping. Let's try it and see. Let me go to properties here, and I will activate this one by saying name 2, right? And I'll say okay over here, and I'll say okay. So you see, it's very clumsy. Okay, but we can remove it by say, you right click on it and then you see this what label features, right? If you deactivate it, you see it will come, but now I've activated it, so let me deactivate it. Okay, and I hope it's clear. All right, so now let's move straight. Main objective is to generate steady area map. Okay, so now we have these 3 layers. Let's move quickly to you see there are some tabs here. This data view, and then this is what layout view. At the down corner, we don't want to remain in the data view. We want to take it to the layout view, which will help us to put it more of like on an A4 sheet for us to print. Okay, so now let's quickly click on here, and then you see that it will change with a certain frame, around it. So this is how it looks like. It's like an A4 sheet. Okay. So when it comes over here, that means you are preparing it for it to be printed out. Okay. Or you want to maybe change it to a PDF or any other format for you to be able to manipulate. But we need to work on this because over here there are a lot of things that we are supposed to add to it. Okay. Now over here, you see, okay, I think I forgot something. We need to go back again. Okay, let me go back to the data view. Okay, so over here, you know, earlier when I was telling you guys that at the end of the day, I'm going to ask you guys how to extract some regions of interest so that you'll be able to now work in groups. Okay, so for an example, I'm just interested in the Upper West region. So we are going to learn how to extract the details of the Upper West region. And then now we put it into our layout view and then make Ghana small and then now make the Upper West region very big for everybody to see the details of that particular region. Okay, so that's the first objective. So I hope I'm okay. Everybody is okay, is following me. Hello.
Hello, we are following.
You are following. Okay, great. Okay, so now let me go back to, let me click over here. You see, I said I am interested in that of the Upper West region. Okay, we are going to learn how to extract a particular region of interest. Now, when we come over here, you see over here we have select features. This is just an icon to tell you are selecting features. When you click on it, you see we have different types of selection. I'm just interested in the first one, so select, just select this one, and you see now that I have activated that of the admin one. When I click on this one, it will change the color. So I'm clicking and you see. So you see that's changed that place. Okay. So you know you could see this just an outline, all right, of the Upper West region. So now that I have selected this particular outline, I have to go back on this one and right click. Okay, and I'll say export data. Okay, you see I went to data, then export data, and I'll click on export data. So you see it's asking me, where do you want to put your output file? You see what I selected was what? Selected features. So it understands that where I've selected is what I'm interested in to export. So I need to make sure the folder which is going to save the thing is correct. And I'm working, it's saying here, this is not the folder which I'm using. So I have to go over here and then make sure I navigate directly into that folder which I know I'm working with. Okay, so this one, I'm working in this particular folder. I want to give the name as Northern region. Sorry, upper west, upper west region. You see, it's having a .shp extension. All right. If you don't select this drop down, and if you leave it like this, it will not understand you. Okay. So make sure you have the extension, the shape file. All right, selected, and then you say okay. So it's going to save another particular folder. So I say okay, and then you see it's now correct. Then I say okay. It will ask you, do you want to still add the exported data to the map as a layer? Yes, I can. I want. So I'll say yes. So you see, it has given me the name Upper West region. So even I can deactivate it. All right. You see, my selection is still there. If I want to on select, I can do this. So now I'm free. So if I come over here, I have my Upper West region. Now, we are going to do something very critical here. I want you to pay attention to this particular one. Maybe you have some question before I continue. Does anybody have any question? Any question? Okay, if no question, then let's continue.
Hello.
Are we
Sir.
going to go? Yeah.
No, sir. But you're moving too fast.
Let's go back a little. So over here, let me repeat the whole thing again. Let me delete this one. All right. So you see, I told you this is the layer which we are interested in. So I've activated this one. All right. Now I'm saying that I want to select this particular layer. That is what I'm interested in. Maybe some of you, when you activate this one, maybe when I click here, it will select Northern region. When I click here to select the Volta or Ashanti region, depending on what you are really interested in. Okay. Now I'm saying that for demonstration, I'm just interested in the Upper West region. So what I'm going to do is to make sure that I get my inner districts also represented here. But before I can do that, I need to get the outline of the Upper West region or the region of interest. You get that one extracted first before we move to the next step, which is very important. So all I'm trying to tell you is when you click on this particular selection icon, okay, it's of interest, your choice. So I'm going back again. West. So I said this. So the rest of you, if you're also working in your groups, you also select the specific region I'm interested. So you are interested in as a group, then you work towards it. All right. But look at this this particular section very critically, because if you skip certain steps, you might be found wanting. Okay. So now let's go back over here. Now that I've selected this particular selection, all I'll do is to right click. And when I right click, there is a section where I know I'm going to data. All right, there's a data section there, and I need to navigate to that place and then also select export data. Is this place okay? Is this place okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, because I've selected that particular section. So when I click on right click on this one, and then I also navigate to the export data, and I click on it, it gives me the option, all right, to really tell whether that particular folder I want to put this output in is correct. So you are working with a specific folder, so you make sure you put it there, or else you put it somewhere you cannot find your output again. Okay, so I'll always encourage you all the time, put your folders very in an orderly manner to help you navigate all your necessary files. Now over here, I said that there are certain options over here. We have all features, we have selected features, and we have all features in view extent. All we are interested in the selected features because that is what we selected on the map. Okay, so we leave it like that. And then we make sure that we are in that particular folder we are working with. Now, when you click on this one, it tells you there is export. It gives you a default name, export output, but so I need to make sure that I give a name which I know will be very clear for anyone who even visits it. I've already click on this one, back again for me. Then I'll say save. It will tell me to overwrite. It's going to overwrite because I already did that. All right. So it already exists. Yes, overwrite it, replace it. I say yes. Okay. So now from here, I'll say okay. It will ask me, do you want to put this layer output you have generated on the ArcGIS? And I'll say yes. I'll say okay. You see, that's what it's asking me now. And I'll say yes. So you see, automatically it brings the name that we gave, Upper West region, and that is the region which we have selected. I hope it's clear from here.
Yes, please.
Good. So I can decide to deactivate the administration one, and you can see only the Upper West region. You can decide to come over here and right click on it. All right. When you right click and you say zoom to layer, it will make it very big for you to see. So let's try it. Zoom to layer. You see, it's now very big. And that is our Upper West region. But we are not done. We need to make sure we have our district inside it. Right now, when I come over here and I activate the admin 2, you can see the districts under it. We cannot even see it inside here. So we need to do something to make sure we can capture the district, which is more of like a subdivision of the region over here. So this is why I said you need to make, you have to give a good attention to what we are going to do right now. Okay. Okay, so now to make things very easy, I need to make sure I make this thing very transparent so that I can see any layer that I put below it. All right. So I'm going to click on the box here, and then I want to make it hollow. Okay. And I'll say, okay. So now it's hollow. So now when I activate admin 2, you see it's under it. All right. Now I need to make sure that the output area, that's the Upper West region that we have done right now, I want to make sure I clip all sub regions or the districts into this particular area. So look at this, very critical. It's very, very important because if you skip this one, you might get lost. Can I continue? Okay.
Yes, so sir, please, in sir, please, in showing the districts, uh, can you move the region on top of the districts,
Yeah,
or the only thing you have to do is to just make the region hollow?
just like this, then I'll activate it. Have you seen it?
Yes, and I mean with the color, the previous one.
Okay. So for example, let me deactivate this one. When you go over here, this full extent. So I'll click over here, full extent. Now I'll bring in the whole district here. All right. So see, I can push this one at the top. You can see now it's now reflected over here. Is it clear?
Uh,
Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. 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 Oh, okay. It, yeah, you see, if you bring it what's the name? Opaque, it's going to cover everything because like I told you, it's like a deck, a card deck. So the one that is seen on top is what is being displayed. So when you make it hollow, then now it gives chance for the one below it to be seen. You understand? So over here, when I click here, Assuming I get back to this. Oh, okay, you can do it that way. It will work. When you take it back here, you see it works. So you see the upper west region now becomes a background color. You understand? Okay, all right. So are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we want to do something we call clipping, because I have a certain output area, right, which is my upper west region, and I want to bring in my district so that it will just make sure it cuts all those districts that are within that domain. Okay, so when I go over here to the selection, oh sorry, geoprocessing. When I click on geoprocessing, then you click on clip. I told you this one, I'm just trying to make sure that I get the exact district within my shapefile which I'm interested in. All right. So my input feature would be your upper west region, because that is the cutout, the one that is going to cut out. And then my machine is a little slow, so it's taking time to process. And then my clip feature would be my administration 2, which is your district. Okay. So now it's going to ask you, you see, it's going to give you this one, upper west region clip. Okay. I want to change this one to upper west district. All right. I want to change it to district. Yeah. Okay. So when I click OK here, it's now going to process. So let's wait for it to process. When we process it, it's going to now give out a certain layer output, which is going to be now placed on this under the layers 2. And that one would be the district for which we are interested in. So let's wait for it to finish the processing. Then now we are good to go. So this particular clipping section is very, very important, especially when you really want to work with a certain domain, which we have certain sub layers under it. Okay. Okay. I think I've rather reversed the thing. I rather reverse the thing. You might not understand what I'm trying to say. See, I've reversed what I wanted to do. It's rather the other way around. So look at this one again. Let me okay, deactivate it. Okay, fine. So let me go back to my clipping again, geoprocessing, clip, and then I'll rather select the admit 2, right, the district, because I'm rather putting it under the shape file, which is going to cut it out. So the mistake I made was I rather put the shapefile of the upper west region in this first input. That is the reason why it's giving me the wrong output. So I'm rather going to put in the upper west region here. Okay, and then now the name is going to be upper west. Let's give this name. So upper underscore west region, sorry, district. Okay, click. Right. Then I'll say, okay. What did it say? Okay. it's telling me the clip already exists. Okay, so it means that I need to go and then maybe it's going to overwrite it. Let me see, and this one, let's put it here. So let's give the name. Okay, so Upper West District clip. Let's see what it says. I'm just going to remove the shape file and then say okay. So let's wait for this one to also process and we'll see the output. Okay, so you see, this is the output that we have. So let me deactivate this. I know people are lost. We'll get back again. Right. So I want to zoom to the layer. Zoom to the layer. So you can see now I have my Upper West District now embedded. Okay, so I can still have this one. I can remove this one. I don't need this one again because it was a mistake. So remove this one, and then now you rather click on this, the Upper West region. All right. You see, I can push this one at the top, and you see it's now covered. I can decide to put this one at the top too again. It's now covered. And the question that was asked earlier on, you see, because this one already has a background of let me see, light like pink, so it's covering every place. So if I make it hollow, that is where you are going to see the background of the underground, sorry, the sub layer, right? So when I click over here, I make it hollow, and I say okay. You see, now you can see the sub layer. I can go ahead again and then remove this one to hollow, and then I can now see every place is hollow. If I want to know the difference, I can decide to change the color. This is the district, so I can decide to change this color by making this one, maybe, you know, I said I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'll say okay. All right, you see, and then because this one is on top, and let me bring this on top so you can see the black outline. I hope you understand me. Would you want me to go over again?
Hello, please. They want you to go over again.
Okay, all right. So I'm going gradually. Let me remove everything over here. Let me remove this one. Remove. Then also remove this one. Okay. Okay. So now I told you that we are interested in a particular region. All right. So we have here. Let me see over here. You have to go to full extent here to be able to see the entire map. And I've selected this particular area. Over here, I think everybody's okay. Now we make sure that we send this particular area, we export it, okay? And then we say export data. That is what we are interested in. And then our output, we need to make sure that it's in the right folder, okay? So I give the name Upper West region. So because I already have that name there, I'm going to just overwrite it. I'll say save, yes. I'll say okay, yes. And I'll say okay, yes. So now I have my Upper West region now displayed over here. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and then get the sub layers, which is the district, because a region has district, and the district can be found in the admit 2 here. So for the admit 2, I can decide to click over here, and you see that because this one is already colored, so it's even covered the district, you might not even see. But even when I push this one to the top, you'll be able to see it. Okay. So I am interested in extracting all districts which is found within that boundary, which is your Upper West region. So to do that, I need to go to geoprocessing. And then I go to clip. And I told you, when I was teaching earlier on, I made a mistake, okay? So what are we interested in? We are interested in what? The regions, sorry, the districts. So the district is found in the Ghana Admi 2. So that is why we need to put that one first. Then now we cut out with the shape file, which is the Upper West region, all right? So now first we select the Admi 2 here. All right. Then now, what do we want to clip? We want to clip the regions, the region of interest. All right. We want to put that one over here. So over here, you can see I can select the Upper West region. Okay. But make sure you are in the right folder. So I have to navigate there. And you see, I gave this name already. So I'll say Upper West District Clip. And I click on this one. I'll see save. Yes. Okay. So you see over here, it's just telling me there's an error somewhere. All right. So we need to look at it clearly because we gave it what Upper West District Clip. Because it's already there, it's like it doesn't understand it. So let's go over here again. Let's remove the ship. Okay. Then we say save. Let me click over here. Okay, click. Okay, it's not allowing me. So what we'll do is this. Let me go to that folder and delete it. All right. And then now we know that we don't have that thing there. So inside my folder, you know, I have over here. Can you see? Okay. You see, one funny thing is this. Whenever you generate all your folders, it has a whole lot of related files. All right. But you know, it's not seen in the ArcGIS when you are seeing it, when you are trying to display. But for now, I'm just interested in the Upper West District. Let's remove everything about Upper West District. All right. Let's remove everything from here. Now say, okay, let me delete it. So now it's free. Let's go back. The geoprocessing clip, and I have admit 2 here, and I also have, I need to select Western region. Okay, and then now let's navigate into this particular area, and then let's label this place Upper West District. Right, and I see this. So you see now it accepted it. Okay, and I'll say okay. So it will process it and then I'll bring the output and then put it on top of what we are seeing right now here. So when I deactivate everything over here, you can see I have my Upper West District now extracted for me. And if I want to see it, I can decide to go to zoom layer. And you see it becomes very big for me to see. Is it clear? Are we here? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Because I'm not seeing the other screens, that's why I didn't see. Okay. Nice, thank you. All right, so now we are good to go. We now have our Upper West District clip ready for us to use. So now let's go to where we went earlier. I want to do more tweak to this by just adding some of the labels, right? So when I double click on this one, it takes me to the property layer, right? And I have labels. I told you when you go to the property layer, the label, because we left there earlier, so it gave me the label tab activated. But by default, it takes you to the symbology. But we are just interested in the labels for now. And we are looking at the name 2. Okay, so I want to see the names of the districts. You can do a number of alterations of the font you can do. And then you activate your label feature in this layer, all right? And then say, okay. So you see now we have the various districts within your district of interest. Now, let's go back to our view, sorry, our layout view. You know, we came here earlier and I told you I've forgotten something, so I have to come back. So I'm here back. So this is your Upper West region. But like I told you, we want to put this one in such a way that we will have Ghana map very, very small at one right corner. That becomes very easy. But before we can do that, let's try and then push this map a little bit above, okay? To do that, you have to use your hand, the hand tool. So activate this one, and I'll push it a little bit up. Okay. And now you have an option to add your title. You have an option to add your grade. You have an option to add maybe your skill, your legend. All right. Dr. Jeffrey. Yeah, I'm just really worried about the peso. Oh, okay. Because we're looking at it, we know we have not reached anywhere. That's the reason I'm okay. Okay, okay. So I'm going to add my title to this. So I go to insert and I'll say title. So title, I'll say upper West region. Okay, Upper West District of Ghana. Okay, and I'll say okay. So you see, giving me this title, and I want to insert um, a directional. I can choose any of this. Okay, okay. Some people prefer this. All right, so I will just say okay, this one. I can put it over here. That's the cardinal. All right, and then now I would want to add a scale to this particular map. So you also go over here and add a scale bar. All right, now the scale bar, we have different type of scales, but remember we want to change these properties to kilometers. The US, they use mouse. I'll choose this one. I'll choose this selection. Let me change the properties to kilometers instead of the mouse. So I'll change this one, mouse to kilometers. Everything is inside it. So if you want to know much about it, you go to properties and then you can change your thing. All right. So it's not any difficult thing. Everything is embedded within. There are more styles if you would want to use. Okay, but because of time, we will not want to go there. So let's say okay. So you see now I have my scale down here. Good. Now I would want to bring in my Ghana map so that people will now understand what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I've not brought any legend. So maybe if I bring the legend, it might to bring a legend, maybe I need to give different colors for the district so that it makes it very clear. So let me go and then do that one so that we can now get a beautiful legend and then attach to this one. All right. So I'll go. Sorry. Okay, we can still change it here. We can still change it here. Okay, that's a title. We can decide to type it here. We say Upper East District. Okay, so we say okay. Hey, look at me. Upper West, sorry. Upper West District. Is it okay? Okay, so now, yeah, you can decide to even add more, make it bigger, thicker, depending on your style. You can do a lot of tweaks with this. Okay, so let's say okay, and then we apply. You say okay. So you see it made it bigger, and that is it. Okay. So now let's go over here. You can also change your district. The spelling says, I made a mistake over here, so you can click on this one. Just change this one. That's all. Okay. So now let's go back. Okay, you now right click on this one and go to properties. Now for the properties, this is where I wanted to really mention symbology. Symbology gives you various categories. All right. So let's use this category session. And then over here, you want to use the name 2 to give you the various distributions. Okay. So you select this one and then you say add all values. You understand? So when you say apply, you see it will change all the colors. So let's try that. You see. So you see now you have the various regions, and now when I want to add my legend, it becomes very easy for me. So let me say okay. Now I can say I can add a legend. But let me try and then okay, insert legend. So legend. You see? So with the legend, all right, I don't want to make things so complicated for us. All we are interested in is the Upper West District clip, all right? And that is what we are going to introduce the legend for. So we just, that one is the only thing over here. So you say, okay, next, right? The title is legend. So you just leave it like that. Legend. All right. Do you need anybody? I don't need anybody. I don't need background. Just leave it like that. Next. Okay. And then you say next. Okay. And then now we say finish. So you see that it has now populated our legend over here. There are some names that we don't want to see over here. You can do it manually too. I can decide to say, okay, let me delete this one. Let me delete also this one. Okay. So you see, we now have our legend. So any of these colors are represented with the legend, and it becomes very clear for anybody to see. Now I want to bring the map of Ghana over here, so that now it becomes a complete study area. All right. So now to do that, I just need to go over here. We are supposed to do this one using the data frame. Okay. What we are dealing with right now is just one first layer, which is the data frame for this one. So if I add a new data frame, it's going to bring the data frame over here. You see, we have data frame 1 and this data frame 2. So let me drag it down here. And this is where I'm going to put in the Ghana map. Okay, to make things very easy for me, I have to go over here. In the Ghana map, I can have admin 1 here. I'll drag it down here. Okay, and then activate it. You see, I have the Ghana map here. Can you see? To make things very simple too, you can if you want to make things very easy for anybody who comes over to see what you have done here, you can decide to even bring this whole thing over here. Now we can now see the exact paintings that we are seeing here, right? So you can see, but over here, I wouldn't want to show the names of the, it has made it very clumsy. Okay, so I would say remove the labels, and then I'm good to go. Okay, so with this, I can now add my grid lines. My grid lines to even the outer, the bigger one, this box. I need to add a grid line so that it will give me at least the longitude and latitude for this particular map. Okay, so over here, I'll just need to do this. Insert neat line. Okay. Now over here, I think okay, let me make it very simpler. Rather go over here, right, and then right click and go to properties again. And properties, under properties, we have let me see. I wanted to open to a place where we would have the grid. Okay, so it's rather over here. Properties. I selected the wrong tab. So over here, I should have clicked on this one. So let me go back again. You see the data frame here, right? The first layer, I need the borders and then the grids, everything. So I rather click on it. Earlier on, I went to click on this, which is wrong. Take note. So for grid layers, when you right click on this one, you go to properties, and then you see the tab called grid, and that is it, what I'm interested in. Okay, and I go to new. You see, it gives you an example like the South American map with the grids showing. You can do a lot of tweaks to this one. Okay, you can decide to reduce the number of ticks within. So maybe let's say we are in Ghana. So the northern, the upper west is a little bit smaller. So let's use about 2-degree interval. All right, 2 degrees interval. All right, and then I'll go to next. So I'll say next again, and next again, and finish. And then I say okay. So you see that it has given me the various grades. You can do a number of tweaks to these ones. All I mean is like the font size to the top. I mean the maybe you don't want to see the various degrees, the longitude in this particular unit. You can do a lot of things to it, and to do that, you need to just go back to the properties again, and then you change the style, or you could say properties, but let me say style. There are a lot of things over here, but I don't know whether all of you are following it very well, but we can do a number of things over here. Let me see. Let's take it to 12. All right, I select 12, and you see I have top, left, bottom, right. Right, I don't want anything to display on the right. I don't want anything to display at the top. I only want my left and then my bottom, and that is all. And you see it's in degrees per minute per seconds. I can decide to add more properties to this one. Interior label, let me see over here. You see it's giving me what's the name? I can do a number of tweaks over here to, you see this one. If you don't want these ones, you can also decide to remove it. The intervals, let me also go back to the intervals. Okay, so it's your choice, right? I can decide to say, okay, decimal degrees only. All right, I say okay, and I say okay, and I say okay. So you can see that, you see now it's giving me this. So you can do a lot of things with it. So this is just a starter for you. You can decide to fade your grade box. That one is up to you. And the same thing, we need to do the same thing too for the Ghana map. So without wasting much time, I hope everybody is clear with this section, because over here I decided to activate my left and then my bottom, because the same thing to the right, to the top, right? So just only this one and this one. Now it's very clear over here. I hope it's cool for you now.
Yes, please.
You're okay with this one?
Yeah, we are okay.
Okay, so now we are going to export. There are a lot of things you can do over here, just that because we don't have much time. So I just want this just a display for you to be able to understand. You can do a lot of things with this, but at least with the background information that you've gotten, you can do more exploration. All right. So over here, I decided to export. So let me export here. You see, you go to File, then you go to Export Map. I want to put it into my folder I'm working with. So I am going to put it into this one. And then I give the title Study Area or Upper Western. So Upper West Districts. Study Area. Study Area. Okay. Let me save. So now when I display it on PDF, you could see it comes out very nicely. Let me open it, then you see. Let's go to desktop, and then we go to, okay. So you see this is the Upper West District Study Area. Double click on it, and now you see it displays in the PDF version. And this is a map. So that's like I was telling you, that when you look at your map, you could say, oh no, this one I could have done this, I could have done this. Okay, let me beautify it and then make it very simple for everybody to understand. All right, so it becomes very easy for you to do a number of tweaks to this. So that is all for this one. I hope we are clear for this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we can continue. Let me close this one. Now we are going to the next step. We are trying to now import some data into our ArcGIS. Okay, so I'll say go back to my data view here. And then let me try and then reduce all this. Let me zoom to extent here. Okay. Let me deactivate this one. I want only the Ghana map. So let me bring admit 2 here, and then no. Okay, let me rather bring this. Okay. All right, so we are now going into how to really import some data files with long lags of all these. For example, if I pick rainfall. You know, in GMet we do measure a lot of weather parameters. We have rainfall, temperature, relative humidity. We have pressures, a whole lot, sunshine. All right. Now, I believe all of you have been to the meteo stations before. Even at KNUST, I think you should have enclosures. I hope all of you have visited some of your automatic weather stations before.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have it. Okay, good. Now, you need to make sure you bring the location of your automatic weather stations, which has longitude and latitude, bring it into the map of Ghana. And, you know, anytime you want to bring something of this sort, it's in a form of Excel file, which is a CSV format. All right. So let me try and then open to, I think I've shared this thing with you guys already. So look at this one. Over here, I have an Excel format file here, which contains a number of rainfall that has been recorded over, I think, 22 stations in Ghana. So let's look at it. I'm trying to open it so that we can now examine the content of this particular Excel file. You know, it's the same thing like you guys also have at your enclosures in KNUST. The location, that's the long lat of your automatic weather station, is very, very critical. So how many stations do you have in KNUST? Can somebody help me?
And please, we have only one argument station.
Yeah, what? Only one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, but they have all okay, they have all visited it before, am I right? Okay, nice. So what I'm showing to you right now is a combination of automatic weather stations from we have a certain group of it's a company that deals with automatic weather station across the entire of Africa, and they are called the TAMU, right? So we combine their data and then that of GMet, right? So GMet, you can see our data is coming from here up to here. We have only few data sets, right? But TAMU is helping us to get more data across the entire country. So over here, you have the station ID, that's the name of the station, and then we have the longitude, and then the latitude, and then the parameter of interest, that is rainfall. So if it were to be temperature, we will also have it here, then on and on and on. There it goes, right? So for now, I just want you to know how to import such a data into ArcGIS so that you'll be able to now plot it and now do analysis, all right? This is one of the most important aspects of this analysis, tutorial. So please pay attention to it. Okay, I'm closing it. We now know what it is, so I'm closing it. And I'll go back straight to the ArcGIS where we know we can import our data. Okay, so I go back over here again. Okay, and then I use this icon to push up my folder. So I come over here, and then I click on the, I give it RR. Unfortunately, I didn't give the dates, but this is just a demonstration, so don't worry about the dates. Okay. Okay, so RR. So I'll say add. When you say add, you see automatically it brings you to let me see, where is our data? This is the data. Okay, now it's seen it there. So this is what we're going to do. Let's right click on it. When we right click on it, let's look into the table itself. So we say open. So we'll be able to now see the exact content just like we saw in the Excel, the CSV format. Okay, so this is how it is. So I have my station ID, my longitude, latitude, and then the rainfall. Very, very simple. Okay. At times when you don't do it well, you see some of the data is not found. So you need to go and do it well to be able to see it reflected. But for now, this is what we see. Let me close it. Now, this is where we need to now bring it into the field of our Ghana map. So I right click on this one, and you see there's a section called Display XY Data. So I click on Display XY Data, and over here, you see, we do normally have the option to view whether what we have really input into this particular ArcGIS, everything is okay. So you see, we have different fields. We have the longitude, latitude, and then the rainfall. So it means everything is perfect. Now we need to also change the geographical coordinate system. All right. In Ghana, we are located over a particular region which the whole world will be able to now know where we are. So we need to do this one. Anytime you import, because I've used it before, automatically it has done the description for me. But if it's a fresh data, it will now tell you to go and configure. This is very important. So make sure you get this section. So I'll go to edit. And then you see, most of the time, I don't want to make things very difficult for people. You know, when I went to edit over here, you see automatically I just push it up. I scroll up and I see Africa. So I go to Africa and then Accra. Very easy for us to, right? So we are selecting. So this one, they have made it very simple for us to use. So I go to OK. So automatically you see it takes the coordinate system of Accra, which is that of Ghana. And then we say OK. We say OK. Automatically, you see how it displays all the stations across the country over here. I hope it's clear.
And please, can you take that part again?
Okay, let me go back. Let me remove this one. You see, anytime you can remove. Okay, so there's nothing there. But remember, I hope you remember how we did the importation of the CSV file.
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's no need of going to do that again. Okay, so now you right click on this one, and I said you go to display XY data. When you click on this one, first you need to make sure you check the coordinate system, that it will be in the format of your location. Yeah. Yeah, I'm listening. Is everything okay?
Please, we didn't get how you imported a CSV file.
Okay, let me go back.
I didn't. Yeah.
Let me remove the CSV again. Remove. So now I go back, just like we started. I go back here. Okay. Because I've already been in this folder. So it's already showing me that, oh, I have my CSV here. So I can click on my CSV, that's it. But assuming this is my first time going there, then I need to make sure I connect to the folder. At this stage, I believe connecting to the folder is not a new thing to you guys. So now I click on this one and I say add. When I add, it's going to show over here. And then now I want to view what it is. Okay, but I don't want to view because I've already viewed it already. Now I want to display the XY data. Okay, so I have to click on this one and then make sure I get my coordinate system correct. Okay, so to do that, I need to go to edit. Now, edit means I need to navigate directly into the Accra, Africa, and then Accra selection. I say, okay. So you see, automatically it changes this one to the geographical coordinate system, Accra. And I say, okay. You say, okay again. Automatically, you see, it pushes the various locations along with their coordinates over the map of Ghana. So with this, it becomes very easy for you to, manipulate your data sets. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Good. So now we are now getting to the one of the interesting parts of this tutorial. I'm interested in knowing the data sets that is found in those areas I don't have stations. You get it? Now, I have only some few stations just cut across the northern region. so huge space, no data. So it means that we need to find ways and means of, getting some near some data sets which could help in those areas we don't have data. We already have data here, we have data here, but what is happening over here? Nothing. So we need to use a certain interpolation method. So when I say interpolation, it's more of like trying to know the data over a certain area which we don't have enough data. So in between this station and this station, there is something really existing here, but we don't know. So we have various means of doing this interpolation. And one method is the inverse distance weight method. I'll really task all of you to go and then look for the meaning of the IDW. That's the meaning, IDW interpolation method, and you will understand that it's one aspect. Then we also have another one too called Kriegen. Okay, we also have another one too called the nearest neighbor method, but we are just interested in the IDW because it's one of the commonest one that is used. So that is what we are going to use for now. Okay, so I am going to do the interpolation for you, then you see what I mean by interpolation. Now, to do that, I need to go to this area, data, data geographical, let me see, the physical analysis tool. All right, so geostatistical analysis tool. Okay, and then you click on interpolation. You see there's a plus sign here. I say click on this one. Then you have IDW. Okay, I made mention of just some few other aspects too. All right, different types of interpolations. Right, we are just interested in this one. Okay, so I'll double click on this one. Okay, so please pay attention. If you have any question, ask before I continue. In the absence of no question, then I'm continuing. So my input feature would be my CSV, all right, this one. Okay, and then my parameter I'm interested in is the rainfall. Okay, now look at over here. This is something we call resolution. Resolution. The pixel size of each graded box is what we term as the resolution. Let's take it very simple. For example, you pick a photo, all right? Photos are made up of very, very tiny boxes. A picture is made up of such boxes. And at times, when a picture looks so blurred, that means that there is not much enough data that is, like, it looks so coarse. So you see it very blurred. But when it's very fine, that means that there's more finer data found within each of the boxes. All right. So the resolution of this particular grading that we are going to say, I'm just going to use 0.05. All right. This is just for an example. All right. We are going to do an interpolation based on this particular grade size. Okay. So now, after I'm done with this, let's try and then do a little configuration over here before we can go ahead and then execute it. Okay. Now I click on environment, and there are two options, two sections we are going to just tackle, and then we'll do a little changes, and then that is it. The first option is processing extent, and the next option will be raster analysis. So let's go back to processing extent. I click on processing extent. The reason why we are looking for this processing extent is because we are dealing with the map of Ghana. The interpolation should make sure it's within that map of Ghana, or else if you leave it like that, it will just cover the entire country. It will be like a big box, and that wouldn't give the correct output we want. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to use ADME 1, this one. Okay, you can decide to choose this one and this one, but I want to use the ADME 1. You see, so it's giving me the top level, the left, the right, and then the bottom. So these are the longitude, latitudes of the country of Ghana. Okay. Then now from here, let me scroll down to my raster analysis. Then the same thing appears. You need to also change this one to the ADME 1, and that is it. I hope it's clear from here. We did only 2 changes: processing extent, and then we went to raster analysis. These are the main 2 things we are dealing with.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, okay, guy, good. All right, so I say okay, and then I'm going to execute it because now everything is fit for me. All right, I say okay. Oh, okay. It's telling me that I need to specify where the whole thing is going to be saved. I didn't look at it, so let me go back. Okay, so it's asking you where is the output file? I want to navigate it directly into my KMUST file. Okay, so it's also going to go over here, and the name is going to be interpolation. Interpolation. I'm just giving the name interpolation, right? And I'll say save. Then I'll say okay. So it's now going to process, and then now it will give me my output, and then that will be the interpolation which I'm looking for. I hope you can see what I'm seeing. Hello.
Hi. Yes, please.
Yes. So these are the outputs after I did my interpolation, the IDW interpolation. So you see the various distributions, right, of the data, the rainfall. So it means that wherever we have very high color like red, that means there's more rainfall. So I can say there was more rainfall all over here, straight all over here, and there was less rainfall around these areas with the blue. You understand? Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir, please, I want to find out why the output cell is 0.05.
Okay, like I was telling you, you see, for example, we normally work with the satellite resolution. For example, we have some data sets from some models like the CHEPS data, all right, or TAMSAT. I'm believing Dr. Ai has introduced you to such data sets before. They have these resolutions, all right? Yes, yes. So when I ask you what is the resolution of the patient data, what is it? Yeah, did you hear my question? Okay, so you can decide to change the resolution depending on the higher the resolution, the more computation. Okay, and then the coarser the resolution, the less computation. So for example, let me go back again and then do my interpolation again. I'm going to increase my resolution All right. So let me pick this, and then I'll pick the rainfall, and then my output cell size, I'm going to do it 0.5. You compare the two, all right? And then oh, really? It's not displaying. So should I start again?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let me go back. So I said that going back to the IDW again, this time I want to pick the rainfall again, and then now I pick the what's the name? Change the Z value to rainfall, and I'll change the resolution size to 0.5. The first one I said 0.05. Now I said 0.5. So we want to see the difference between the resolutions we are talking about right now. Okay, so as usual, we have to go back over here. It's not showing. Uh, sorry. No, but when I click the IDW, okay, let me. I don't know whether my. Let me stop sharing and share again. Now, yeah, can you see it now? Okay, so when I click on the IDW, I don't know whether you can see the menu pop up. Can you see? Okay, okay. So, like we did previously, you just have to go and then select the data source, and then you change the Z value to your rainfall. Okay, and then this time our resolution, we are changing it to 0.5 instead of 0.05. Is it clear now? Now, let's go back and then do our tweaks from the environment. All right. So we I said we are doing only two of it. So we say environment, and we just go and change the processing extent. Let's choose the same. Okay, and then I'll move down, and then I move to raster analysis. Okay, and then I change this one to admin 1, and then I'll say okay. Now remember, I said that my output file, I want it to be in my folder. All right, so now I'm going to change the location. All right, now this time I won't give it interpolation underscore resolution. Okay, IDW resolution 0.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Ah, I think the network. Okay. So I'll say save. Oh, okay. It didn't understand my distance. So let's use this one. See. Okay. New resolution. resolution. I'm just an example. So I'll say, okay, it still didn't understand me. Okay, let me go. Let me try it again. Sorry. I'm going back again. Okay, so over here, I click here and I say change this one to 0.4, and I'm changing this one to 0.5. And then my output, I'll say new resolution. Resolution. Okay. Right, so I'll say save. Oh, it didn't understand me. Okay. So I need to change this one. Oh my. The output raster option is giving me some error. Okay, so I need to check on something. I think something's wrong here. Let me see. Either I don't give that name. Rainfall. Okay, so 0.05. Okay. Admitting. Oh, admit one, sorry. Okay. Let's see if I say okay, because I've not specified my outputs. So, okay, try. Okay. All right. So I think when you are labeling your thing, the number of fields or the letters or space that you use is very, very important, because I was given a long name and it didn't understand. That's why it was giving me that error. So when you encounter some of these things, it shouldn't be a strange thing. All right. And at times too, when you are giving the names, you bring some figures like maybe decimals, like maybe 0.5, those kind of things, computer problem. So you need to also be careful about these. Yeah. Not that what you are doing is wrong, but like if it does not understand it, it will not really accept it. Okay, so now I'll say, okay, it's going to put it into this. I gave it the name try. Okay. So it will now display the output and you see the difference. Can you see? I see a difference. Are we
Yes,
there?
please.
So let me untick this one. And you can see this is the first one we did. This one had the 0.05, and then this one is 0.5. So you can see the pixel size is very, very important. Okay. So this one took even less much time to do the calculation to give you this output, but the previous one took a little time before. So there's more work done if the resolution is very, very high, and there's less done if the resolution is very coarse. Okay. Now let's go back. This is not what we are interested in. We are interested in this one. So now we have this. We the meteorologists, we normally would use this, all right, to tell the distribution across the entire country. Although we had just some few data sets, some of them clustered in over certain areas, all right. Others are widely spaced, all right, over their areas. But you can see the distribution after we did the interpolation, and that is what we are interested in now. Okay, so the last aspect of this tutorial, I hope we are okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Good. Now, the last aspect of this tutorial is what we are going to do. We want to convert this particular output, which is the interpolation of the data set we have gotten now. We want to change it into a CDF format. Okay. Now, we need to go to this tab, multi-dimension. Okay. Multi-dimension. And I know you guys definitely, Dr. Ayi will show you guys, how to, access the CDF files in Python. And your output from here will help you do analysis with in Python when you have the CDF formats over here. This thing we are showing here, see, it said feature to the CDF. We are interested in raster to the CDF. What we are seeing over here. Well, I didn't mention raster to you guys. Okay, no worry. But it's still as an assignment for you guys. Go and look for raster data formats. In fact, what we are doing right now is like it's just a rush through ArcGIS, but at least with this background, you should be able to follow and then help yourself exploring on your own. Okay, so raster to the CDF, that's what we're interested in now. So I'll double click on this one. Now I ask you, what's your input data, your input raster? My input raster is the interpolation, all right? So I click on the interpolation. Then it asks you your variable name. Anytime you are dealing with data set in Python, they always want to know certain variables that are embedded within your data set. Okay, so let's give any name for now, because this data set, I told you I didn't look at the dates, but let's say rainfall. That's a variable name. Okay, and then it said a unit variable. You could say in millimeters. And then what again? Let's go back to our environment. Oh wait, I think there's something, an error. Okay, let me remove this one. I don't need to show it. Okay, I shouldn't bring the units. All right. Okay, so I go back over here. Environment. I want to still make sure I'm within the prescribed domain. Okay, I go to raster analysis, and then I select Ghana admin 2, admin 1, sorry. And I say okay, and then I say okay again. It finished my CDF format. So the question is like, so the CDF format, so now it's seen it, so what? Yeah, we can display this CDF format over here, but it's not necessary for us to display. But we can see, most of the time, the CDF format, it has the .nc extension. So let's go back to our folder where we put all our items there. And let's see whether we can find our CDF format. Did we even navigate over here? Oh, we didn't do it or what? Let me see. Oh, we didn't do it. So you see the challenge. Because I didn't navigate it, so it cannot find it. So these are some of the challenges that you also come across. So we have to go and correct that our mistake. So go back here under the multi-dimension tools, raster to the CDF. Okay, and then we go back again and we said interpolation. It said rainfall. Okay, and then where's our output file? We see our output file is supposed to be over. See where it went to. So let's go and then put it into the right folder. And then you see it's now over here. What name are we going to give to it? let's say rainfall output. Okay, we save. So you see, it gives automatically the name .nc. So that is the file. I don't have to worry myself with the environmental files again. I say, okay. So it's supposed to now generate my output for me. So when I go back over into the folder where we are working, I'm supposed to see the output file, which is a .nc. This is it. So rainfall.nc. And with this, you should be able to work in Python. All right. So basically, if you want to also see the plot of the CDF file also in ArcGIS, you can also do it this way. Let's say, let me see, make the CDF feature layer, or okay, make the CDF raster layer. So I come over here, double click on this one. I want to just view what I've just generated. Okay, and then this is my CDF. All right. It identifies all the various sections, and I say okay, and it's supposed to display it over here. So we'll see it very soon. So you see how it sees it. Okay, so this is our output in the CDF, and when you also go and open the CDF, you also see a similar display, and you can do all your manipulations over there. So what we have done right now is just the entire country. Now we have data sets over these areas. We have data sets over these areas here. But these areas are so few. So if I'm going to give the group work, I wouldn't really want you guys to work with data at places where we have few data sets. Okay? Using the same data set I'm giving you, I'm going to put you into the groups. So for group 1, what I want you to do is to come up with a steady area, right? And then generate the rainfall distribution over that particular steady area based on your knowledge that you have gotten from here. Okay, so for example, we have that of OT or Volta region. Let's say we are now using the Volta region. So Volta region, at least we have a certain number of station data sets embedded within. Okay, we have a way of clipping this station data set to help us just work with only that station data set within that particular region. And it's similar to what I taught you earlier on the clipping. Let me demonstrate one for you to see. We all, let me remove the interpolation here. Let me also remove the CDF. Where is the CDF? Okay. So you see, we did have a number of stations distributed across the entire region, but somebody can work over the upper west because we have at least some distribution over here, but nobody should go here because it's so few. Then we also have others also working in the remaining areas. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is how we can clip our station data on the region of interest. So let me demonstrate one. Because I don't want anybody to come and use the northern region, I'm just going to do the northern region alone, so that the rest of you do the remaining regions. Okay. So over here, I was interested in only the northern region. So go back. Northern region. Let me collapse most of these. Okay. Now, I want to select the northern region. So let me come here. Okay, so it seems I need to open some of the regions. Okay, so over here, I am interested in the layer of that admin one. Sorry, admin one. Yes. So admin one has this. Let me go and then select. You see, I've selected this one, all right? So I need to click over here. And then now it's just the northern region for me. Just like we did earlier on, I come over here and then I export data. And then I said selected here. Let me take it to a name which I know. This is the northern region. So let's see. But I'm just recapping what we have done though. So northern region. Okay. So this is my northern region. And then the name, I say okay. So it's just going to process it. Yes. So I now have my northern region. But remember, I have certain data sets that are supposed to be within the northern region. And what do I do to bring this into it? I need to go and then use my clipping. Okay. So now, when we are picking this data set, it's all over the country. So let's pick that one. And then now we use the northern region outline to clip it and then just extract only those data sets. So I go over here. So with this, if I want to do any interpolation, I can come over here. Interpolation, let me go to interpolation. Interpolation, I'm dealing with only the stations which are within the northern region. So I go and then pick RR clip. Okay, that's the name I give to it. Okay, then the name of the station, sorry, the variable is rainfall. And you see, he's giving me this dimension. My figures are too small. So let me use 0.02 this time. Okay. And then I go over here, environment. My environment processing extent. Remember, this time I'm using the northern region alone. So northern region. Okay. Then I come over here, raster analysis, also northern region. So I'm sure we will know what I'm trying to say. So northern region, we created it already. So I say, okay. Okay. Now the name, I think our output should give us, let me see, let's put a certain output file. Let's give the name northern. Northern rainfall. Let's see whether it will accept it. Okay, it accepted it. So northern rainfall, and then we run okay. So it's supposed to do the interpolation and then display it over the northern region for us. Okay, so somebody is wondering, where is our data, the one we just created right now? But remember, let me see whether, you see it's over there because of the position. You get it? So I can decide to push, okay, let me push this one here. So now I can bring in my northern region, okay? make it even a little hollow. Okay, let me do it hollow. So now I have all these areas. So now northern region, this is the distribution of rainfall across. I hope we are coping. Hello.
Sort of.
Okay. Okay. So what all I did was, right now I said I'm interested in a particular region. All that we were doing earlier on was the entire country. So now I am trying to do an interpolation over a specific area of interest. And now I decided to choose the northern region. And the northern region, we have only few data sets over there. And this data set, I can count it, it's 5. So I don't want you guys to go and use the 5 because we don't have enough data. But when assuming I'm going to bring all the data points and then bring that of the whole of Ghana. Now we know that the northern region has just few stations. Fine. So we are only going to work within, if, for example, you are picking over Volta region, the group that is going to work over Volta region have enough data, we can give us some good output. The same thing, those in other regions could also combine. So all I need you to do, first, you have to create your outer boundary of your region, and that is going to be your extent, okay? And then you make sure you clip the stations that are found within that particular boundary. And that will help you work with only those stations. So all I did right now was to make sure I selected my northern region, which is my area of interest. And then I made sure that I found all the stations. I clipped all the stations that are embedded within the northern region. And after that, I did my IGW interpolation and then made sure that the interpolations run only over the region which I am interested in, not the entire Ghana. So a quick run through. Now, let me remove this northern region again. I always want to remove things so that let me see. Okay, let me remove the interpolation as well. Oh, sorry. Where's my interpolation? Okay, so that's the interpolation. I'm removing this one too. Let me remove. Okay. Earlier on, I just wanted to pick only the. Okay, let me change my domain this time again. I'm doing only Upper East. Okay, so for Upper East, I need to select first. Make sure we are dealing with administration 1. So it has selected this one. Then I will export my features. Okay, so I'll say I wanted to get to Upper East University. Okay, fine. Okay, so I'll give the name Upper East. Okay, so now Upper East. And then I say, okay, yes, I want to save it there. Yes. So you see, now I have my Upper East. But how do I even bring in my data set, my data points within this region? So that is where I said we need to go to what? Geoprocessing, clip, and then now we select all the data set that we have available. So this is what we selected, okay? And then what are we clipping onto? We want a certain area. So that area is the Upper East we just created. And then now the name, you see, the output is giving you this, is giving you this as the output. I want to put it into my area of interest. So over here, I'll say rainfall upper east. Okay, so I say that. And remember, I need to make sure I use my environment. Okay, so I go over here, our processing extent. I make sure I select upper east. So upper east. Okay, and then my raster analysis, I also select upper east. And I say okay. And then okay again. So you see, it's processing to give me my output. See, the output now is what? RR upper east. Okay. So now with this, if I deactivate the rest, you could see that now I have only stations within this particular area. Let me remove this one and then zoom to layer. Let me zoom to the layer. because you know it's the 2 point. That's why I just enlarged it like this. But if I say full extent, you know, it takes you to this section. And if I want to say zoom to layer of the upper east region, so I can just say upper east region, zoom to layer, and it takes you there. You see, now we have 2 points, only 2 points with the upper east region. I'm going to do the interpolation for this one. Now, go to IDW, and then your input should be your upper east rainfall. Okay, and then your parameter is rainfall, and then our resolution is 0.0. I want to make it even more finer, so 0.02. Okay, and then your environment, you go back to processing extent. I come over here and I pick upper east too. So where's upper east? This upper east. And then I go and select the same upper east at raster analysis. So upper east, upper east, upper east. So I select this one, which is upper east. And I say, okay. Okay. Then now I go back because it's going to ask me where I'm going to save it. I want to put it into this same folder. So I'll give it upper rainfall. Okay. Upper east. You know, at times if you give it long, they do not accept it. But let's see whether it will accept it. Okay, it accepted it. Okay, so upper east rainfall. Hey, let me give it IDW so I know its interpolation. IDW. Okay. Okay, it didn't understand. Okay, let's say UP rainfall IDW. So UP rainfall IDW. Let's see whether it will accept it. Okay, it accepted it. All right, then we say, okay. So it's now processing. Oh, it gave us an error. You see this error, this is an error. So it means that there's something wrong with what we have done so far. Let me see whether it's from us. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me go over again and then generate our output and see whether it will give me. Okay, let me go back. So IDW, we said the input feature is upper east rainfall, and then the longitude, latitude is rainfall, and then our resolution is 0.02. Okay, and then our environment processing extent, we said upper east. Upper east. Where's upper east? Okay, upper east. And then we also have raster analysis. Upper east. Okay, at least this one gives us our demarcations. And then now we check on the output where we're going to save our output. Our output should be upper info IDW. Let's see what happens. Oh, it still gave us. So it means that, you see, the fewer the stations, the problematic it is. I hope you guys are getting me. What we are experiencing right now is not enough. It's not the resolution, though. It's the number of stations. Just 2 stations is not enough. Okay, you let me try as you are saying. So I go over here, and then this time I put in my upper east, and then rainfall. Okay, and then my resolution. It says 0.5. Okay, I'm not going to do any environmental settings. Okay. Come again. Okay, 75. Okay, let's see. And then I just want to, okay, you let me still set the environment. Set it to upper, where's upper east? And then upper east. Okay. And then our output would be, let me see, upper. IDW. Okay. Upper east, IDW. Okay, so now I say, okay, let's see. Still. So you know what? Let me go back and then use the northern region again, what I did, so that you can easily understand. Because that's why I don't want us to use those regions with the very few data sets. Okay. So let's do the northern region. Or you want us to use a different region this time? Yeah. Oh, okay. So for the northern region, oh, okay, that'll be better. You know, the reason why I don't like the new shaper, I don't know whether what you have is really authentic or you guys generated it yourself. Because there are certain things within which when we are using and it's not well done, it will not accept it. No, not with ArcGIS. We've been using CDT. And CDT, if it's not authentic, it will not accept it. That is what I'm trying to say. So you don't worry. Let's still use what you are saying. Let me try that of the upper. Sorry. Let me take a station where I know everybody. Okay, let me pick only Western region, but still others you combine some regions. I'm just going to pick only the Western region. All right, right now, so that we can easily use it. Okay, so I first select the Western region. Let me deselect this thing and then go back to Western region. Now select Western region. And then I export this one. So I would say Western region. Okay, so I ship. Okay, so I'll save this one. Yes. Okay, so now I need to make sure all the data sets that are found within the Western region are seen. So over here, I need to go to my clip, geoprocessing, clip, and then I select the various rainfall outputs, all right? All right, and then now my region, which is going to map out or cut out that area, sure I expand, I use the western region, and then I go down over here and then select my western region as well. Western region, okay. And I'll click OK and then OK. Okay, so now it's going to give me my output. So you see western region rainfall. So I can choose to remove all the other activated points. Okay, and now I'm just left with only this one. Let me remove this one. And then now bring only the western region at the same time, that of what we're interested in. So let me zoom to layer. Zoom to layer. So this is your western region. Now I want to do the interpolation over here. So IDW. So IDW western region. Our interested data is the western region clip. Okay, that's the station clip. And then our parameter is rainfall. And then we are using 0 points. Let's see 0.02. Okay, so the output, let me put it into western region IDW rainfall. Rainfall. Okay, then now let's use the environment once again. So export, make sure we select the western region, and then we pick the raster analysis also, and then we go to western region and we say okay, and then now I click OK, and so let's wait for the outputs to display. And remember this marks we are seeing over here. So you see, if it gives you the green button, it means that you are successful. And you see, because we did that, okay, let me use this one. Let me bring it to the top here. Okay, and then now we can, where's our IDW? IDW, I can bring the IDW also to the top. Okay. Okay, so on top of this one. So you see now it's spread out. So like I was saying, the number of station data set is a problem. If it's very small, it's going to pose major problems. But for now, we can decide to make this one hollow, and then, and that is it. We can push this one back again. Okay, if you want to now show the various district within that one, I've taught you how to do it already. You just show it, and then you know that, oh, okay, this particular district is telling us we have this amount of rainfall, and then you can even put in the names of the district. Very, very simple for you to export into your your study area output for everybody to know what has really happened, right? So basically, that is all I want to do. Okay, now, okay. Sure, we can. So if I want to show the legend for this rainfall, that one I have to go over to this place, okay? And then, because we did two maps, in actual sense, if I want to push this one up a little bit, okay, because we did the other one earlier on, so it's this wrong. This legend is wrong. So I can decide to remove the legend. Sorry. I need to select this one. Okay, then you delete. Okay, then now you go over here. We need to go and then activate our layer once again. And then where is our rainfall? This it. Where is coming? Did I delete anything? Okay, let me see. Let me see. No, but it should have displayed over here, just like when you activate it. I should have. Okay, don't worry. I can still remove. Let me delete all this. Yes. Okay. Okay. Let me delete these ones too. Oi. Okay, let me go back again. I think. You know what I did? You know, the one that is showing is the CDF file. That's why it's. So I need to show that of the. Western region. Look at this. Oh, I should have clicked this one and then activate. It's interesting how it behaves at times. Okay, so when I want to show that off, this is the whole of the rainfall. But when I show Western region, yeah, Western region, and then the rainfall that we did, where did I even put it? Western region rainfall clip. And then where did I even put her? Okay. Okay, Western region rainfall IDW. Okay, so I can now zoom the layer. Okay, and then push this one a little bit up. Okay, and then you said you wanted to show the legend. Okay, so let me click over here and I remove this. Okay, so the legend is rather showing. This is the legend. You understand? You can work on the legend too. There are a number of things that you can do over here when you go to the properties. You know, let me see the display, the symbology. Okay, you can check the range. You can stretch. You can. There are a lot of unique values that you can even generate out of this one. But like I'm saying, what we are seeing over here, this is just something you can classify. You know, look at the real classes. This 10. You can maybe. Exactly. So all you can do right now. So far, we have not converted this one to NetCDF. If you would want to do an extra work using the NetCDF in Python, then in that case, you need to go and convert what we are seeing right now into NetCDF. And now, when you go over here and then you click on the NetCDF, raster to NetCDF, that one you have to go and then click on what's the name? Western Region IDW rainfall. All right, and then you give the name, the variable name. Let me leave it like that as default. All right, and then let's say where we want to put it. So it's over here. So let's say Western Region IDW NC. Okay, IDW RRNC. Let's see whether it will accept our name. Okay, so it accepted it. And then now we say, okay. So automatically it will generate this one. Let me close this thing. Okay. So you see it now generated it. So if you want to view it, just like I told you, you come over here and then you open the file which contains, oh, remember, you open the file which contains then a CDF file. We said what? Western region, W, this one, there's it. So did we even open it there? So that is it. So we say, okay. So it's going to display it for us to see. It's showing, but because this one is on top of it, so let me see. Is this? Oh, sorry. Western region rainfall. Did I even show it? So I think. Oh, where have I put it? Guys, I hope you got what I'm doing. I'm just looking for it.
Yes, sir.
So I have to leave it for you for.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now, Doc, what we're going to do is we would need to have. You said 4 groups, eh? Okay, so these 4 groups, let's try it and see. Let me take it to the full extent, and then we have. I want us to agree on the various what are the regions. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, the question is, what's the limitation? Okay, ArcGIS is very, very, how do I say, robust. I mean, it's because it's having this kind of like license. Um, it has this license, so it's very, very flexible. It's able to do a lot of things. If you have the right license, master, you'll be doing a lot of things. But if you don't have the license, you are limited right now. When it comes to, there are other GIS softwares too, like the QGIS. That one is not licensed. Yes, but that one, there are a number of limitations to rates if you compare with ArcGIS, because ArcGIS can do a lot of manipulations. Likewise, the QGIS, but there are certain things which are very unique to ArcGIS, which makes it even better than the QGIS. I'm not saying the QGIS is not good. QGIS is very good, just that there are some restrictions to the ArcGIS if you are not licensed.
I wanted to hello I wanted to ask on, for instance, if you want to like select or divide your map based on classes or something, is there a particular feature that you can use? Since in meteorology, mostly in our data, our maps, like our study area, mostly we want them to be displayed in form of like agroclimatic zones.
Okay, to help, you need to get a shape file of those climatic zones you're talking about. Anything you want to work in ArcGIS, you need to have a shape file.
Okay. I also wanted to ask that if you want to select 2 regions at a time, for instance, all of the things we are doing now, we are selecting like one region, one
Okay.
particular region. So
Yes.